The NFL draft can quite literally make or break a team for the next several years. General managers are hired and fired based on how their selections do for the organization. Since Brad Holmes came to Detroit in 2021, he has done nothing but knock it out of the park each year in the draft. As the NFL draft draws near, let's take a look at the 2021, 22, and 23 draft classes that Holmes put together and give each year a grade based on the players drafted, total growth, usage, and production. But first, if you like Detroit Lions content, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a thumbs up. It helps push the videos up the algorithms and it helps the channel grow. Now let's get into it. Alright, starting this off in the 2021 NFL Draft with the 7th pick overall in round 1, Detroit selected Penei Sewell, offensive tackle out of Oregon. Definitely one of the shining stars of this draft class. They followed that up with the 41st pick in round 2 being Levi Onwuzurike, a defensive tackle out of Washington. Kind of a mixed bag on him. He's had some production, but he's been injured a lot too. But round 3, pick 72, we have Aleem McNeil, a defensive tackle out of North Carolina State. When he's healthy, he's dynamite on the line, pairs up really well with Aiden Hutchinson. Round 3, pick 101, we have Ifeatu Melifonwu, a cornerback out of Syracuse. He didn't really get too much playing time up until about 3/4 of the way through this past season, where he really started shining a lot, and he's definitely going to stay on the roster and compete for a starting role. Round 4, pick 112, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, a wide receiver out of USC. Obviously the shining star out of this draft class. I'd put him number 1, Penei Sewell number 2. Round 4, pick 113, we have Derek Barnes, a linebacker out of Purdue. Haven't really had too much out of him, but a huge upside with Barnes, and he will keep competing for a starting linebacker position. And to finish it off, we have pick 257 in the 7th round, Jimmer Jefferson, running back out of Oregon State. He is no longer with the Lions. He is the only person of their last 3 years of draft class who is no longer with the team. So that's pretty good number right there. Looking back over the 2021 draft class that Brad Holmes put together for the Detroit Lions, I would have to give it a B. A lot of good in this draft class. It would have been a B+ if it wasn't for Jimmer Jefferson no longer being with the team and a little, subpar production from Derek Barnes and Levi. That's what's keeping it from a B+, but I definitely see a B rating for the 2021 draft class of the Detroit Lions. Moving ahead to the 2022 draft, in round 1, pick 2, Detroit selected Aiden Hutchinson, a defensive end out of Michigan. Hands down the shining star of the 2022 draft. Followed up by pick 41 in the 2nd round, we have Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. Another star in the draft, but Aiden is definitely taking the cake on that one. Round 2, pick 46, Josh Paschal, defensive end out of Kentucky. He's been hit or miss. He's definitely going to have to compete this year, now that we brought in Marcus Davenport, and I'm sure we're going to be looking at defensive end in the draft too. Moving on, round 3, pick 97, we have Kirby Joseph, safety out of Illinois. He had an absolutely amazing 2023 season. Round 5, pick 177, James Mitchell, tight end out of Virginia Tech. Still hasn't really done too much for the Lions, especially with Sam Laporta coming in the 2023 draft, taking over that role. Round 6, pick 188, Malcolm Rodriguez, a linebacker out of Oklahoma State, one of the motors of the Detroit Lions defense, all over the field. Definitely a contributor To the team, round 6, pick 217, we have James Houston, linebacker out of Jackson State. He has been dealing with injuries since he's been drafted. Hopefully it pans out for him and he can get some playing time in 2024. And finishing it off, round 7, pick 237, we have Chase Lucas, cornerback out of Arizona State. Looking at the 2022 draft class, it's real comparable with the 2021 draft class, with the exception of a hell of a lot of production out of Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jamison Williams. So with this one, I am going to do B+. And yeah, hell of a draft in 2022 for Brad Holmes and these Detroit Lions. Let's get into 2023. And taking a look at the 2023 draft for the Lions, we have round 1, pick 12, Jahmyr Gibbs, running back out of Alabama. Round 1, pick 18, Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa. And then round 2, pick 34, we have Sam Laporta, a tight end, also from Iowa. Round 2, pick 45, we have Brian Branch, a defensive back out of Alabama. So if we go ahead and look at these top 4, the first 4 picks, 2 from Alabama, 2 from Iowa, we're just going to do one giant star right for those 4 right there, because that makes an absolutely phenomenal draft class. Moving on to round 3, pick 68, we have Hendon Hooker, a quarterback out of Tennessee. Good backup for Jared Goff, hasn't had much playing time. I don't think he's had any playing time other than preseason, but he is a competent, good quarterback. I am safe and comfortable with him being the backup. Round 3, pick 96, we have Broderick Martin, a defensive tackle out of Western Kentucky. Didn't have the greatest season, but he's young, he's growing. Round 5, pick 152, we have Colby Swordsdahl, offensive lineman out of William and Mary. Also didn't play the greatest, but again, young and growing. And then we have round 7, pick 219, Antoine Green, a wide receiver out of UNC at Chapel Hill. Didn't have much playing time, but again, young and growing. And finally, closing off the 2023 Detroit Lions draft class, I would definitely give this one an A. Those first 4 picks were just absolutely dynamite, and then you got a good backup quarter who can learn the system and develop under Jared Goff. And then you finish it off with 3 younger players that can grow and become useful and have higher usage rates and production rates for the Lions over the next couple of years. Dynamite draft. Once again, I give it an A. Give Brad Holmes an A all around for drafting such great young talent that he can develop. And I look forward to him doing the same in the 2024 draft coming up in a couple weeks. Make sure you guys tune in. I will be live streaming it. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you for the next one.